Trying to do a video. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna let it roll. What do you want to know?
Plus 80 on the second block.
Plus 80.
Sweet.
Just do your maths. Literally just did it.
No.
Let's start again. So welcome to another episode. I think we're up to like episode 9 now, which is really cool. It is a little bit random, but once we pass episode 10, then I'll bring in a little bit more structure. What I'm doing right now though is I'm just creating a bit of foundation for the channel and just kind of diving into a whole bunch of different things to keep it a little bit interesting. Excuse me. But today we're going to be talking a little bit more about warming up, okay, and why it's important, and how to do specific things to ensure that you're doing the right kind of warm up for the workout ahead. So I guess with that said, let's dive right in. Okay, so with your warm up, there's a few things we want to get from doing the warm up. Gone are the days where we thought we just needed to warm up if you were old. I remember being younger and thinking like, oh, I need to get used to warm-ups and learn some warm-ups because when I get older, it's going to be harder to just start playing, which is definitely true. But the reason that we warm up is a lot different in the modern era, okay? There's a lot of research to show that the warm-up is not just to make you feel warm anymore, which is what we used to think it was way back in the day where we knew bugger all about training and the different sciences that support what. But now we have a bit more of an understanding of what we're trying to achieve. And what we're trying to achieve with these warm-ups is a couple of things that will result in another thing. So the first major thing that we want to try and get from our warm-up is mobility. All right, so mobility is kind of like flexibility in a dynamic situation or scenario. So we want to be able to move and move well through the full ranges of each joint in our body. So this is where it can become a little bit more specific to what you're going to be doing in the session. Obviously, if I'm just going to be working out my upper body in the session, I probably just want to spend most of the focus of my warm-up on upper body movements that are going to improve my mobility and my flexibility whilst I'm doing those movements. And the reason for this is so that as you go through a loaded movement, you'll have maximized your mobility in those positions, so you will feel comfortable moving through those positions, and as you start to build the load, it'll feel a lot better, okay? And obviously, if you're feeling better, we're also going to perform better as well. So that's the kind of aspect that we want to take from improving our mobility by utilizing a warm-up. Now, there's a few different ways we can do that. We can do unloaded bodyweight versions of those movements, your squatting patterns, your pressing patterns, your pulling patterns, hinging, etc. And what we're really trying to do is lengthen the muscle to its maximum capacity, and then obviously flex the muscle to its maximum capacity as well. So we get that full range of motion occurring through the entire body. So that's why I will be pretty specific about what kind of mobility exercises or movements that are loaded that will be added into the warm-up, because they have a purpose to serve later on with the actual work that's going to be done. So when we actually step into doing something like a loaded squat pattern, we'll feel good tension in our movement, but also move through it quite fluidly as well. The next thing we want to get from our warm-up is better recruitment. One of the best analogies I like to use is the moving house analogy. So what I want you to imagine is that we're in the room, we gotta lift this very heavy table, and to do that, we need a few people around the table. Imagine that those people are like muscle fibers in your body. The more of them that we have, the easier it's going to be to move that table wherever we want to put it. So we get a lot of people involved, they all lift the table, move it to where we need to go. Then we bring those same people back into the room. Now we have high muscle recruitment. That's the same kind of idea as when you're going to be engaging more muscle groups and trying to recruit more and more of those muscular fibers. If we have those same amount of people now recruited, we can utilize them to lift much smaller objects, and if we did it together, it would be much easier. This creates efficiency in your movement because you have higher recruitment occurring in your muscle groups. So by coupling the two of these things together that you gain from doing a very good warm-up, we're able to build load ability, or I guess / tolerance. And the idea behind building loadability and tolerance is that your performance will be much better with every kind of lift or movement that you do, even if it's not just for heavy lifting. So if we drift away from strength, we still need good loadability and load tolerance when we're doing things like a zone development training. All right, so when I'm on the bike, when I'm doing the row, if I'm doing running, if I can recruit really well for the muscle that is responsible for making me efficient at those movement patterns, and because they're endurance, it's even more important for me to be efficient and to make sure that my movement patterns are consistent, then it's going to be more important for me to have really high recruitment and be good at warming myself up as a whole through that warm up. So having a good strong focus on things like my mobility and my muscular recruitment is going to lead to improved load tolerance. So guys, in a nutshell, yes, we're still trying to feel warm. Yes, we're still trying to get good blood flow, and we're trying to definitely decrease our risk of injury. But we also want to make sure that our focus is specific mobility, so whatever's coming up in the session, and making sure that we get good muscular recruitment. Another way we can do this, other than just our mobility exercises at the start, is actually to use explosive movements once we have started to warm up. The explosive exercises will just give you that little bit extra recruitment because, as I said before, when we do something that's a little bit harder for the body to achieve, and explosive exercises are probably some of the hardest movements, then we're going to achieve more muscular recruitment. Anyways guys, we're going to wrap that video up there. These are just a few of the reasons why you should be warming up before every session that you do, and why you should spend a lot of time making sure that you understand the purpose of the session you're about to do, so that can be reflected in the warm-up. Okay? If you're enjoying these videos, please like, please subscribe, and share this video as well. If you made it this far in the video, team, you might as well drop a young slow in the comments below. Really appreciate all the support we're getting. Go over to Instagram and check out our Instagram page at The Collective Training. Drop us a DM if you've got any questions, and we'll be sure to get back to you. Peace.